Hello. Alright, we're back. I had a request to do some variations mods. Now, the variations mods are still down in the work in progress, and the only way to find them on your Xbox is to come down to work in progress and scroll to the right till you will find a bunch of them. You will not be able to find them all this way, unfortunately, but let me show you these here. Starting here with this, and then we're going to move over and show you some of the others. The problem is that the main one is no longer down here in work in progress. I don't know where it is. That, your Xbox will only show you so many. We know that there are more work in progress mods. You can go on your computer and go out to Bethesda's site and you can see that there are more than these, but on your Xbox it will only show you so many, so you can't get to them, which is annoying. The one thing you can do on Bethesda is you can basically subscribe or click, I think it's click download or something, and it will at least put it in your library up here in this list, in this library list, but it won't truly download it for you. You have to download it yourself when you get on your Xbox. But because my library is already full of things that I plan to do shows on, and these are all newer, because it always shows you the newest stuff out here to the left and the older stuff to the right, I can't get to anything that is not pretty new, because all the new stuff is kind of hogging up the stuff on the left here. So I mean, that's life. It's just something I have to deal with. I don't really mind it so much. It's just something to be aware of. There are ways around this, like I said, but for me right now, I can't do that. I don't want to lose all the stuff I've kind of queued up to do shows on. However, we can do some variations shows, and that's what I intend to do. Did I have one? Why is this one active? Oh, well, okay. This one is active. This is the Armor and Clothing Recolours. It's variations, Armor and Clothing Recolours, Solstheim. Now the modder is Svorzenda. Svorzenda? Depends on how you want to say it, I suppose. That person would have to tell us. Anyway, this is all about the Solstheim clothing and stuff, okay? Now this is mainly a recolor. However, you do need to be aware that some of these are using some practical armor shapes and changes. Let's see. Most of it is meant for the vanilla body. Does this one say the meshes? Okay, the meshes in this mod are for the vanilla body, so we won't worry about other mods yet. We'll wait when we get there. So if you get to the large variations download, which is probably, if best I remember, 500 or 600 megabytes, it's pretty big. It might even be 700, but it will include everything. But I'm going to show you some of these here, and you can always take a look at some of these smaller ones and see which ones you like. And you can mish and mash, and choose the ones you like. Now, sometimes some of them require USSEP, okay? This one doesn't, but some do. And just notice that if they do. I have USSEP all the time. I have that patch all the time, so it's not a problem for me. But I want to make sure that you know. So we're going to look at bone mold armors, chitin armors, carved Nordic armor, those robes, blah blah blah. You see right here. We're going to look at that. Black bow of fate, probably not. That's one weapon, and I don't have it on me or in anybody's inventory that I remember. So I'm not going to worry about that. I might be able to find it in cheat room if I look in the Dragonborn chest, so maybe we'll find it, but I can't guarantee that. But I'm going to get on Hope first, and we're going to look. Now this is for the vanilla shape, so it doesn't matter if it's a guy or a girl. The coloring is what you're really looking at. The body shape is still going to be vanilla. Now, and I can always change Hope to be a guy anyway if we want, just to show that. It's not a big deal. So we're going to get on her and show that. I wanted to show you this because I want to make sure that I'm pointing out the modder. Again, like I mentioned over in my Fallout videos, I want to make sure I'm mentioning the modder because they're the people that bring these things to us. Let's see, is there anything? Yeah, and see, I'm going to say he. Anyway, the modder gives you a link right there to the main variations. So you could link to that and get it right off this one. They say they are no longer tracking comments on that though, but I don't think, the last I saw, I didn't see any issues, so I don't think there's any need to. But you may be able to contact them in some other way. Let's see. Oh, practical. See, there's what I'm talking about. Some of the mods use like practical female armors. So you may, some of these do have meshes and are not just colors only. This one appears to be mainly colors though, from the way it's said. But nonetheless, you know, oh no, here it is. It also includes mesh replacements from practical armors for the female variants. Okay. Now I don't know why they do that in particular. It's like they're, you know, I would really rather just have all of this be a pure recolor, but for whatever reason they're doing those mesh replacements. Maybe it's because for them that's how they want it. Beats me. I don't know. I know for some of these I've played around with, and you can actually get the color changes on your modded armor, but we'll test that again because it may have changed. Okay, because these mods have been work in progress for a while and it could have changed. Alright, so I think I've done enough talking. This is Variations, Armor and Clothing Recolors. It's Solstheim. And we're going to get on Hope. I've turned off all the others, and we're going to check out the bone mold, the chitin, and all that. We're going to check these things out and see what we think, okay? Now this is going to have to, this is going to have to reload. You know, I should probably, just to be safe, I should probably pop out and pop back in. Yeah, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to end this, and then I'll reconnect the next video to this. Just be right. Alright, hello again. I am back, and we are on Hope to continue looking at that Variations mod. I hope the change wasn't too jarring, but I wanted to do a reset. So, alright, just to be safe. Oh wait, Hope already has a lot of this stuff in her inventory, so we're just going to try it. So we're going to try looking at some of the things that would be affected, like the chitin armor. Let's go down and find that. Well, bone mold armor, that would be affected. Now you notice the bone mold armor, it has a nice different color. It's a rich, almost brown color or golden color. But I think that looks a lot better than the usual yellow color. Just my opinion. And that's with the guard armor. Just a little different with the shoulders. Nothing really too big. But you're really just looking at different colors mainly. There may be some shape changes, but I don't see a lot. Looks like it's mainly just recolored. Alright, let's go down and look for, here's chitin armor. And I like the way they make the chitin armor look, because it just looks so much darker. It looks so much better. It really does. I think I may actually just be getting a recolor and not a change of the shape at all for these, because I'm using a different replacer. You know, let me pop out of here and let's turn that off. Let's make sure we're getting the right texture. Let's hop out for a minute. I want to make sure we're getting the right shape, the right mesh. That's what I'm trying to say. We're getting the right textures, we're getting the right colors, but I think due to my other armor replacer, she's still got a 7 base look instead of a vanilla look. Now, and that's something I did want to show you that you can do a lot of times with these mods, but that's the second part of this spotlight, so let's do that in a few minutes. Let's not do that right now. Let me, oops, I went too far. Where's my replacer? here's my 7 base replacer. Let's turn that off so that she'll just wear the vanilla mesh of these armors. I had it lower, and I thought if it had its own meshes inside in it, it would override, and it would, but like I said, when I was reading the description, I really didn't think that one had a lot of its own meshes. It sounded like it did not. Let's roll back up and grab Hope again. Okay. Yes, I know you're going to fuss at me. It's okay. Pardon me, having a little water. Now this armor she's wearing here is it's based on the Seraphim body, so she's going to have a different shape for this. Don't worry about that. So let's go back and let's look at this bone mold armor correctly again. This should be a more vanilla appearance. The mesh should not be. There you go. That's a more vanilla appearance as far as the mesh, the shape goes, but the colors are still the same. See, again, you can see that the armor mesh is more vanilla. It's the way it should be. I never really understood the bone mold armor, why they did it quite the way they did. I'm not being totally negative. It's a design choice, just kind of odd looking. Okay, so now let's look at the chitin armor and the boots and the bracers. And this should not have the 7 base, and it doesn't have the 7 base look. It has more of the vanilla look. There you go, for a female. Now, and we could change her over to a guy, and you could see it on a guy. And I'm not opposed to doing that, but let's get through this for the girl first. There's chitin heavy armor and boots and gauntlets as well. And let's see, what else do we have? Oh, there's cultist. Okay, so cultist, let's put the boots and the gloves. Do we need the mask? We can do the mask for fun. We'll do the robes. And this is a darker, it's a nice darker color. It looks really good. And again, this is using the more of the vanilla shape, because I turned off my other mod, which definitely affects the meshes that we could see. I'm going to take the mask off for now. Hope looks better without a mask. Okay, so let's move on. We're still looking for other... No, not the Dawn Guard. This is not that mod. Not the dragon stuff here. Just bear with me. We'll move down. There are some things that we still need to look at. These are affected, so there's no point to stop and look at these. Oh, here's improved bone mold. Now it's going to be similar to the other. It's going to be a more golden brown look. I don't think I never did like the bone mold very much, so, but I'm not, I'm not trying to rag on it either. I just never liked it that much. So now sometimes you'll find with some of these that it takes a moment to put it on and take it off. That's that's just the mod. It just takes a moment sometimes. It's not too bad. At least I don't find it to be too bad. Okay, this is Mirax. This is going to be, I think, let's see if this is going to be like the other. Yeah, this is Mirax. It's a darker color of his robes, and I think it looks good. By and large, most of these are darker, and honestly, they look better. That's just the way it is. I mean, I am not trying to be a smart aleck. It's just the way it is. I don't think that is changed. No. Okay, the Nordic carved armor is different. Now, I'm not going to be able to say. I'm going to say it's different. But how much different? I'm hard pressed to say. It doesn't seem very different to me. I'm sure if I looked at the vanilla, I would see how it's different. But right now, I'm not seeing a big difference. So I'm just trying to be fair about all that. The Sigic stuff is not changed. No. Oh, the skull. The skull, cloth, boots, and coat, and gloves. This is all darker and looks better just by darkening it up. And I don't know what else they did. They would have to say, but I think that looks a lot better. It just looks, it looks more real somehow. Maybe anyway, that's just the way it looks to me. I don't know if this affected the stall rim, to be fair. We'll look at the mod. I don't think this affected that, but let's take a look. It might have. I don't want us to go through this whole thing and say, no, it didn't affect it when it did. I'm just trying to remember, because it's Solstheim, so I would think it would have modified or changed these armors as well. Variations, okay. Balmo, Chitin. Oh, no. No, it does not. It specifically does not list this. So this is unchanged then. Okay. Okay, so no stall rim. I thought I had seen where they had done stall rim, and it was really very glassy in appearance, really, really nice if you ever see that. But in this case, that has not been changed. So we're going to move on. I think the Telvanni robes have been changed, and this temple stuff. But you see these robes are darker. And it's so funny, but just by darkening them up a little bit, they look better. It's not always true for everything, but in this case, it's true. And that looks better. I think they did more than just darken that up, though. That looks like some color changes and choices that are... I might be wrong, but they look like they're different. Let's see, this does not include the Thalmor, or the Thieves, or the Vampires, or any of this. Okay, so I think that covers everything that we can easily check on this mod. I just wanted to show you what this would look like. The variations really is just supposed to recolor. Now they do change some meshes, but you don't know when they're going to change, what's going to change, unless you come in here and test it out. Now I'm going to go do something weird so that we can test this, and I should have done this ahead of time, so I may have to cause another little cut in the video, but bear with me. So right now this is what we've been looking at, and we looked at these sets. Did we miss anything? I think we got everything except for the black bow, and honestly I'm not going to worry about that. You can always look at that. That's one thing out of all this. So so to give you an idea, I'm going to do another change, because if you look at this, this is a basic vanilla shape, right? Okay, let's see if, well, hold on, we're going to do a quick save so she doesn't change so much right away. Alright, we're going to pop out for a second. Now, and normally this is how I would do this. Normally, if I wanted to get the variations coloring on something, but I want to retain the mesh from another armor replacer, I would put the variations mod above my armor replacer, because our armor replacers usually, not always, usually all they do is change the shape of something. They don't change the color. There are exceptions, but you just have to test this out and see if you can get the effect you want. So I'm going to turn this back on. Now we're going to reload and bring her up, and you should see the 7 base fitted armor with these colors. Okay, now it may not always work 100%, but we're going to try it. I know for a fact that it does work sometimes. It worked for me in the past more often than not. There were some armors that it didn't work on. I remember it didn't seem to like the glass armors, especially. Let's just continue to hope. Continue to hope. Hope that it works. Anyway, I've done this before and it did work, and we may fool around with this a little bit with all of these as I go through them. But I wanted to do some variations, just like I've been trying to catch up on some others. Now you can see there's a difference in this outfit in that it's fitted more to her, and it's more of a 7 base outfit. Now I admit on the robes that does not show as much. Let's move on to well, you can look at the Telvanni robes. You can still see that it's more her shape, more her 7 base shape. Okay. Now, like I said, all of these may not work, so let's go through this and see what works and what doesn't. That's where it gets interesting, because sometimes things don't work the way you want it to. But there, that looks like that worked okay. It looks like we got the recoloring, and we got the shape we were after. Now let's see, there's some more here. If I forget anything, you can always let me know, but I think overall we can get this. See, now this is shaped to the 7 base shape, and again I think it got recolored. According to the mod, it was recolored, so I think it did. I really kind of trust for Zenda, because they seem to have done a good job on this. I'm not gonna act like they didn't at all. But I'm just warning you, we could find an exception, but so far it looks like all of these worked as expected. And I can show you a more drastic, matter of fact, I will download something else, and next time I will show you a more drastic version that will give you a better idea. It's not always going to be perfect, though. I do remember that. But here, the bone mold does not show things very well. The chitin is actually going to show better. The bone mold isn't very good. It's just not a good, it's not a very good armor for anything that I can tell. I mean, not saying that you can't use it to play the game. I've just never cared that much about it. I thought it was an odd choice. It seems like it could look different, look better. Maybe that's just my own prejudice. I don't know. Prejudice against what? Bone mold, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it just seems like an odd idea. So here we go. So now we're going to be back to the cultist robes and gloves and boots. And notice these are also shaped for the 7 base body, but it has the coloring from variations. Let me just say it that way. Sorry, the modder's name has too many consonants and not enough vowels for my taste, for my pronunciation. So here's a 7 base. This is why I turned this off to begin with. This because of these armors looked a little too fitted, and now it's back to looking fitted and showing her as she is with that 7 base body. I mean, the profile pretty much tells it all. So let's see, do we have any other items? I think there was the cultist. No, we've already been there. There was these bone mold armors. These really don't change a lot, though, even though they're fitted. They're just, I think they're just hard to work with, so everybody does the best they can with them, but it's bone mold. There's only so much you can do. I have seen some skimpy bone mold that looked better, but that's about it. Alright, so that's pretty much it. That's what I wanted to show you. So you have a couple of choices. Now if you get the bigger variations, and I'm going to try to cover some of the other variations mods, this was a smaller one. If you get some of the other variations mods, some of the bigger ones that cover this, you'll have to test them to see if you can use them in conjunction with a different replacer, or if you really prefer the vanilla look, don't even bother with the other replacer, save the space, and just stick with variations. Variations looks good. But if you did, I show this because some people want to, and I have done this before. You can use a different armor replacer and still get these colors on most of the armors. Most of them will work that way. A few will not, and we will see if we can track those down for you. But right now, for this mod, this worked very fine. And this modder is for Zenda, and the mod is variations. Let me see which one. Let me tell you which one it is exactly correctly. I think I've showed you everything here. Well, I didn't show you a guy, though. I guess we could show you a guy, because we don't even have to change anything except her. Let's just change her over. Let's see. I'm going to do a quick save here so I can come back to her easily. Let's do... yeah, let's change her to a guy. Bear with me. Okay, sorry, Hope. Here we go. You're going to become the beefy, muscular dude. Here we go. Anytime now. Well, there we go. Alright, so the dark armor gives you kind of a funny looking thing around the neck, almost like your head is not there, but everything is, I believe everything is actually the way it is. We're just not used to seeing the armor so dark. So, everything looks alright. Okay. Okay. Sure. He can stay as Hope. It's fine. Alright, so on the guy, it's still going to look very similar. The colors changed. The shape has not really changed. Definitely going back to a more vanilla guy appearance here. Nothing wrong with that. It's just the way it is. Just going to whisk through these, because you can see it's going to be the same colors. It's going to have the right shapes like we expect, but I want to make sure that you at least get a chance to see them. See? Ta-da. He looks pretty good. He looks kind of like one of my other guys, actually. I didn't bother to try to make him look like anything. He's got them wild eyebrows. But nonetheless, he works for our show here, for our purposes. See, he's got the right colors and everything all the way around. Let's go down. I think Cultist is next. No, that's the wrong one. Let's do that. Oh, he doesn't need the mask. We've seen the mask. If you've seen it on one person, you've seen it on another. The robes, actually, the Cultist robes actually look better on a guy. Don't ask me why, but they do. They look better on a guy somehow. Let's see. Now, if I miss anything, you know, don't worry about it. It's still going to be very much the same as what we've already looked at. It's just going to be a guy wearing it. So, but I want to make sure to show you what I can. I'm not necessarily showing you everything 100%, but it's enough so that you can make a choice. Do you want to use this mod? Are you interested in this mod or not? Just, you know, it's that kind of choice. So this is Mirak. And again, you know, Mirak's robe kind of looks better on a guy too. Maybe not as much as the Cultist robes, but still pretty much. Let's head down to, oh, here we go, Nordic carved armor. Now, I always think this armor looks good on a guy. It just looks tough. This was a good choice, even if you didn't have variations and you just had the vanilla version. It's still a pretty good armor choice. I don't know, I just like the way it looks. Okay, now let's move on down to where are you guys hiding? Oh, here we go. Here you can have the skull warm clothing, which makes sense for all these cold Skyrim days. That looks very good. Okay, so we know the Stalrim is unaffected, so let's just move on. Telvanni robes. Let's see, let's do the priest boots. Telvanni robes look good on him. I think they look fine. The temple priest robes look good on him. I believe, does that cover everything? Okay, I think that pretty much covers everything. So there we go. So even though we did use Hope and we changed her over to a guy, Don't be too scared. It happens. Unlike real life, it's very easy in this game. In real life, people have to go through, they have to go through a lot, and then they can never change their DNA, so they can never really change, what they are. We are what we are. But, they can do a lot of stuff, but not as easily as you can in this game, I tell you. Anyway, that was my whole point. Anyway. That's it. So let me show you the mod again. I think we've covered everything we can possibly cover. It's a small mod. It just covers the pieces that we mentioned. I'm going to re-show you that so that you'll remember, or at least you'll have a chance to remember. I'm not trying to be whatever, smart alecky or anything. I know I forget easily, so that's why I say these things like that. So variations, armor and clothing, Recolours, Solstheim, and it's by Sforzenda or Sforzenda, however you want to say it. I like the fact they give you the link to the main one. If you just want to get the one big variations mod, that's the one to go get. Just get it, download it, use it. But if you don't want that whole thing, you can come out here and pick up pieces that you want. So this replaces ball mold, chitin and carved, Nordic, cultist, robes, Dunmer clothes. I didn't look at Dunmer clothes. Honestly, I don't. Anyway, it's okay. I didn't look at it. Marak robes, Skull clothes, Tovani robes, Temple outfit. We looked at most everything, and I think that's enough for you to know if you like it or not. I also didn't see that there was any mesh changes in this. Not that I could tell. Okay, so we're going to do some more of these because somebody had requested some. They weren't very specific, so I thought I would try to cover some different bases, and it will give you an idea if you want to try out the big mod. The big mod is big, though. If you just want to change a few things, you can check out some of these little ones and kind of pick and choose what you want. So anyway, I hope this will prove helpful to you. You have a good day, and I will catch you later.